old were you when you started construction?
Uh, well, it depends on what you call construction. 30 years experience. Now I'm going to share it. I wanted to be a builder because I wanted to work with my hands. I wanted to build something that lasts forever. Like someone's going to live in that house, they're going to raise a family, they're going to age in that house, and they're going to create a ton of memories. And if it's built exactly the way they want, I wanted to be that individual that I can build that house for them. When you're 11 years old and you want to be a builder, you don't just go to school to be a builder. What I decided to do was become a carpenter first. Learn how to actually work with my hands, build something with my hands, get into framing, and then there's a progression. So you start off as a framer, then you move into like a business owner, then you become a builder, then a builder that has some growth and some key performance indicators that show the actual growth of a company. Now, most people that want to become a builder, I've talked to lots of people, they would love to be a builder because it's a fun job. You're out in the elements, everything's different. Like one house is different to the next house, one renovation is different to the next. You're actually building something that you can look back at 20 years ago and say, hey, I built that house or I built that building, and there's people still living in that building and it hasn't fallen down. Those are some cool things, like when you can look back and you're driving down the roads and you can say to your kids or say to your friends, hey, I built that house. Like those are some things that you can take some pride in, and it's very rewarding. To me, I think it's one of the most rewarding jobs on the planet, but I only know construction. I love it. I got into it at a young age, and I'm passionate about it.
How old were you when you started construction?
Well, it depends on what you call construction. I mean, everyone starts off with like learning how to, build a fort in the ravine. I mean, that started when I was really young, like say 7. I was probably 7 or 8 when that started. But how I got into the construction industry is through high school. High school had a program where you could learn how to build houses, and we built houses. We actually built a house for our vice principal at the school, and we built it in the back courtyard at the school, and then it got taken apart and it got shipped over to Protection Island, and we built it on site for our vice principal. So that was kind of a cool first time experience of building houses. Then I got into the house construction, which was grade 11 and grade 12, and I actually competed against other young carpenters. And I won first place. I was part of the high school trades challenge, and I won first place. But moving forward, I went to BCIT, and I started doing the construction, learning construction techniques, and actually learning the education. And then I went out and found a job in construction, stuck with that one guy. He was actually a really good carpenter. We're still best friends today. And I eventually started my own construction company, framing. So I would say when it really dialed in for me, I would say I was probably around 26 years old. That's when I got dead serious about this being my career and realized that serving customers, building homes, that's what I really wanted to do. So having John as a mentor in my life was really good for me, because John was about production and quality. So he wasn't about to cut any corners. He wanted everything to be square, plumb, flush, and it made me realize the importance of building a good quality home. Why do I want to be a mentor? So this is a massive question. There are many reasons I want to be a mentor. I think one of the starting forces of wanting to be a mentor was realizing that I've been in the industry for 30 years, and I never had a mentor that taught me everything about the business. I learned a little bit from from this builder and a little bit from that builder and a little bit from this framer, but I never actually had a real mentor that guided me through the steps of running a construction company. And if you don't have that, you got to figure everything out by yourself. You got to make all the mistakes on your own. You're going to make a mistake and it's going to cost you. You're going to lose staff. So having a mentor in my life would have made me get to where I am now a lot quicker. I probably could have got here in 20 years rather than 30 years. Not saying that I regret all the lessons I learned, but if I could help other people avoid those mistakes and show them where to focus their energies to be more productive, more profitable, and a better business owner, and at the end of the day have a great client list, then I would love to be a part of that. I also found that when I grew up, most of the builders that I worked for, they kept their cards really close to them. They did not want to show their hand. They didn't want to show all their secrets of how they made money, how they met their clients, or how they ran their books, or how they ran their staff. Everyone was very, very tight-lipped. So I couldn't learn. No one wanted to tell me. But I've got a different mentality, because that mentality is a what's that word now? So that mentality is a scarcity mentality, meaning that you don't want someone else stealing your job. So the mentality that these builders had is like, if I train Scotti, then he's gonna grow up and be my competition. Well, that's a scarcity mentality. I'm running it like an abundance mentality. There are so many houses to frame. There's so many jobs to do. Everyone wants to renovate their kitchen. Everyone has to renovate at one point. If I can help train the younger generation to run a construction company, I know that the world would be a better place. And a lot of young business owners could excel way quicker and be more profitable. When I decided to start growing my business, I made the same mistake. No plan. Just, okay, I'm gonna get more staff or more customers, or I'm gonna work faster. And you get to a point where you realize it actually costs more money to grow your business than if you were to just keep trading your time for money. And it's true. We made really, really good money when it's just me and two guys. I can make good money. But the problem is you're trading time for money. And what happens when you get older? You run out of time. You run out of health. How can you get financially free from trading time for money? If I could mentor someone in the construction industry on how to build a proper construction company, systemize it, delegate, empower your staff to build a system that works, then you don't have to work as hard, but you do still need to work, obviously. But it's not about getting out there and trading your time for money. It's about negotiations and building a system where it pays you in the long run. If you can help 15 of your staff make money and have a career, that's going to pay you back in the long run, because now you've got a company that's actually working and earning money. I really love being coached in business. And at one point, I decided that I wanted to be a coach, that I wanted to mentor people. Contractors have had a really bad name in the past, because literally you could just get into it, tell everyone that you're a builder and people believe you, and then later they find out after they've paid you money that you're a fraud. And I really want to teach contractors how to do things properly. Take out building permits, build a set of values. Like, our value is integrity. So we're not going to build a building without a permit. And learning how to treat your clients properly, how to manage their clients' expectations and their finances, and then your staff as well. So I put together a massive program here to mentor the next generation of contractors, to give them more time, more freedom, better work ethics, a happier life, better staff, and a little bit of financial freedom. So we got 6 aspects. Building your brand. So it's really important to build a brand. So what is your brand? Brand isn't like your name. That's not your brand. Your brand is, what do you represent? So when they say Ogden Contracting, what does that mean? So what is that brand? So building your brand is one of them. Then the sales and marketing. How are you finding your jobs? How are you marketing your jobs? What is the whole process? It's not about buying ads. It's about from start to finish. It's the customer journey. And then there's the operations. How do you operate? How do you run that job site? Do you run it clean? Do you run it messy? Do you run it fast, efficient? So there's operations. And then onboarding. You've got staff. So how are you training your staff to take your position? You're just one person. You can't run a large corporation without a good group of people to help you run that organization. So how are you training that staff? Then the legal aspects. There are contracts, there are rules, you could get yourself in a lot of trouble if you don't abide by rules and you have everything in writing. So there's a massive legal part to running a construction company. And lastly, financial planning. Where are you going with your company? If you're just making ends meet or you're just paying your wage at the end of the day and your company is never profitable, how are you expected to grow? How are you expected to have that financial freedom, retire early, sell your company, get more time back in your life? So there's 6 aspects, and each of these aspects, I've got 12 to 13 different teaching points in each of those. And most people get into business because they want to build a house or they think they're going to make a lot of money. Well, these are part of it, but there's more to business than just those 2 things. There's a whole string of things. So you have to be able to get to the next level. And you can do it quickly by being mentored or being coached through it. I've been there before. I've made all those mistakes. We've come from a dark place to a great place in our business. There are some tough days, don't get me wrong, and we're still learning. That's part of the process. But I've got a really good system that I'd love to share with you that can help, that can streamline your systemization in your company. I want to congratulate you for getting to the end of this video. But you always have to hang on because we've started to put a little bit of bloopers in our videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're going to have a ton of content coming out every single month. So don't forget to hit the bell notification, leave a comment, and I want to know what you think because we base our videos off of what our clients want, what our viewers want. So how do I make that stick?
Tape?
Tape? You're going to put that on the thing, aren't you?
I am.
Solid, right?
Mm-hmm. So say that again?
You weren't recording that?
I was trying.
Okay.
You talk too fast.